and welcome to SLATE, the force behind the St. Louis workforce. I'm your host, Jade Harrell, and today we're talking about how St. Louis is becoming more welcoming and work-ready for new Americans, and what it means for local employers, job seekers, in our region's future. I'm joined by the dynamic Gilberto Pinela, Director of the Office of New Americans, Mayor's Office with the City of St. Louis. Gilberto, welcome, my friend.
Welcome and thank you. I should say muchas gracias for giving me the opportunity to be here, Jade. It's always a great pleasure to work with you, to be in the same space with such an icon.
Stop. I was actually going to ask you, since you get to welcome new Americans, how many ways do you know how to say welcome now?
Well, I'm going to stick with Spanish, bienvenido.
Bienvenido.
And maybe bienvenido. But if you go by the airport, at any point in time, you're going to hear our Mayor, Cara Spencer, say welcome in many different languages.
Isn't that amazing? Yes. Well, then that's something for those who may not know. I would love for you to bring us up to speed. What is the Office of New Americans?
So the Office of New Americans was established by the former administration and continue with Mayor Cara Spencer. And the purpose of the office is to be a bridge between the direct service providers and our government to facilitate the opportunities that exist within the city of St. Louis to new Americans so they can feel that they are welcome, they are recognized, they belong, and they can contribute back to the great growth of the city.
Right, right. What's so cool is that you have seen it from all sides, from many, many angles, in the work that you've done leading up to this appointment. By the way, congratulations. But what you've seen across the board in how to build a stronger, more welcoming St. Louis. So how do we have you on the couch with a conversation with SLATE?
Well, as I work with SLATE, I work in building a bridge. And first of all, working with the amazing leadership of Connie Johnson and Shannon and Rebecca and everybody that's in that team, we are working on putting tools together for international global talent to be able to apply for training and jobs out of the SLATE Center. So anything when it comes to language access and training opportunities, I know now they have bilingual individuals that are capable of taking care of people that are non-English speakers. And they even promotional materials to make sure that we can facilitate the opportunity of access for foreign-born individuals that wish to apply, and they may have an English proficiency issue.
Sure, sure. Well, let's talk language access, because that could be the one barrier between a global talent and a much-needed opportunity that can make a real impact right here. So what are things looking like from where you sit with the opportunities that exist and the talent that we're seeing come to our city?
Well, when it comes to SLATE, SLATE is building up the tools that are required for somebody to be able to apply for training or to apply for a job. And they are partnering with organizations that are working with those individuals that are coming into St. Louis that are seeking for employment, that are work authorized, to be able to help them in their language. Because one barrier is the language, but the other barrier is the cultural barrier. And, you know, you can go to an interview, for example, and not get that job because you may look like a certain way, or your body posture is certain way, and it takes two to tango. So acculturation goes both ways, and SLATE is managing those tools now.
How are you coordinating with your partners and the folks you work with to kind of build that ecosystem so that maybe I don't look or am familiar with a culture, but I can bring and contribute and bring my talents and energy and find a way to be welcomed and incorporated? How are you able to make that ecosystem even more welcoming with what you're doing?
Okay, so we work on breaking walls. So one of the first steps is to get the team at SLATE to sit down with community influencers and leaders in the different communities that we work with.
Sure.
And understand the cultural nuances that take somebody to be able to walk through the door at SLATE and apply for training, apply for a job. It may be a nuisance like asking a question that the person may not understand, and then they immediately feel rejected and they leave. And that happened in the past, but now with the leadership at SLATE the way it is now, we are making sure that we connect the direct service provider and the community influencers to the team at SLATE so they can feel comfortable in doing their work and opening up the door for people to come through and apply and not feel shy about it. I can give you like a couple of examples. Working with the International Institute, the move to STL with Carlos Ramirez, he's going all around the country trying to recruit people that are work authorized, that are green card holders, or that are citizens that are Hispanic, that want to come to St. Louis and see St. Louis as an opportunity for growth and to grow their family and to thrive here. So SLATE now has some tools available for Spanish speakers in their language to be able to go through the training, apply, fill out resumes if they have to, and even talk with personnel that are Spanish speakers so they can apply and they can successfully gain employment.
Yes. And we're talking not just the applicant or potential employee. We're talking about their surrounding family and community and all who would then benefit from that coming into play. Well, because you're director, and I'm really excited to have access to you in your new space, from what you see, what do you most want listeners to come away with? What is your hope as you build this office and the initiatives that are coming?
Well, with the Office of New Americans, and if we're going to talk about specifically concerning SLATE, I want to make sure that we continue to build the tools that we have available for all people that consider St. Louis to be home, to be able to come here, thrive, grow their family, help us with population growth and economic betterment for everybody, and have the tools that they need to succeed. And remember that somebody may come here with a limited English proficiency, but that doesn't mean that that's where they're going to stop. They want to get here, they want to learn the language, they want to succeed in employment, and so they can be able to contribute back and continue to grow their family. So SLATE plays a very important role in making sure that not only we attract people to come to St. Louis, we find them good employment so they can stay here, thrive, and give back to community.
That's it. So we can grow together. Okay, you mentioned connecting services for the providers, direct service providers like the International Institute, move to STL. How does that partnership work in practice? How might we see that coordinated and play well together?
So the way that we work with SLATE is that I am the bridge. So anytime there's a job fair, there is information that needs to be disseminated amongst the community leaders and organizations like the International Institute, the Move to STL Initiative, the Afghan Initiative, the St. Louis Mosaic Project, or the IMSDL, which is the International Mentoring Program, one of those organizations. And all of them, they get the information that SLATE passes on to me, and preferably in different languages. So if we have a job fair that we want to invite the Afghan community, I'll make sure that SLATE has the information given to me in Dari and Pashto, and as well as English.
Right.
So, and then if there is a need to have a representative from one of the organizations come and talk to the staff at SLATE about the cultural aspect of it, then we invite the individuals to come and give those experiences and talk about the nuances of the cultural aspect of language. So that's how that's how the dynamic works, and that's how the Office of New Americans can serve as a bridge to SLATE. And in certain aspects, although this is not SLATE, but it is working in collaboration with them, it's also working with the Department of Personnel for the city of St. Louis in the same way.
True. Well, what better place to start if you're finding your way here to St. Louis as a new American, to be able to find your footing, to establish a solid plan and be able to bridge community and culture. All we needed was this connection. So I'm so glad you were here to share that with us.
And I will say, Jay, that, you know, the beautiful part about it is that we have people that are ambassadors to our city, and they are promoting our city outside, like Carlos Ramirez, as I mentioned before, with the Move to STL initiative. He is going around the country to promote St. Louis as a place where people can move, look at secondary migration, come here for living, and be able to establish their lives here, grow family, and help us with population growth and economic development. So it is a benefit, and SLATE plays a really essential and important part of making sure that we continue to grow the city and make St. Louis a great place for all to live.
Absolutely. And we're very proud of that effort. Thank you, Gilberto.
Thank you.
This is the director of the Office of New Americans for the mayor's office for the city of St. Louis. Thank you so much. And if you're looking for employment, SLATE can help you connect with local employers who are hiring now. Don't wait. Call 314-589-8000 to learn more about career opportunities and opportunities like this. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm Jade Harrell, and this is SLATE, the force behind the St. Louis workforce. We'll see you next time.